Hey everyone. Welcome to Secrets Behind the Stars. All the details are in our video today. Before we dive in, make sure you're subscribed and share this video so you don't miss the next twist. Thank you so much for being here. Baktash has the internet in a storm again, and this time, the spark came from a single photo that looked ordinary at first glance. Within minutes of posting, likes surged, comments poured in, and fans started circling the same small but meaningful clue. The snapshot wasn't flashy, didn't scream for attention, and yet it was impossible to ignore. It drew people in with its stillness. And just beneath that calm surface, everyone sensed something else, the quiet presence of Yüksel, hinted at rather than shown. Barış, who's been navigating a heavy filming schedule, seemed to steal a private moment and offer it up without ceremony. His face was relaxed, his expression unguarded, his look refreshingly unforced. The image felt like a breath taken between obligations. People praised the natural lighting, the softness of his posture, the subtle lines around the eyes you only catch when someone is actually at ease. But the conversation quickly narrowed to one thing. A detail. Barely visible. Unassuming. It split the fandom right down the middle. Some swore that the tiny detail was a nudge toward a new project, a coded signal to keep the calendar clear for a big announcement. Others insisted it was a personal message, meant for one person and overheard by millions. The point of obsession was a minimalist accessory on his wrist, a fine leather strap trimmed with a faint silver charm that glinted like a raindrop when the light caught it. For many, that wasn't random. It felt chosen. It felt loaded. There were fans who argued that the accessory was a memory made wearable, a token of a moment Barış and Yağmur kept mostly to themselves. Others countered that it was a clever breadcrumb for an upcoming partnership, a quiet preview for a campaign built around restraint, quality, and the kind of branding that doesn't need to shout. And because both Barış and Yağmur have used the smallest shifts in their posts to tell the biggest stories, no one could shake the idea that this was another whisper designed to be heard. Fellow actors and close friends slid into the comments, tapping out support with heart and fire emojis, and the entertainment pages grabbed screenshots like they were catching lightning in a jar. The fan chatter sharpened into short declarations that covered the emotional map. He turns a whisper into a headline. A single picture and the internet forgets how to breathe. There's always a secret in their simplicity. Those who love them know this rhythm well. The less they say, the more people lean in. Both Baktash and Yüksel have guarded their private lives carefully, never letting the noise spill inside their home. Yet with this post, speculation reignited. In recent weeks, their names have been quietly tied to several projects that would suit them both separately and together. The rumor mill insists the photo was an elegant way of saying, without a caption, that things are balanced and flowing in their world. That everything. Work, love, timing, is in sync. And yet, true to form, the couple said nothing. No explanation, no follow-up story, no hasty denial. Silence that sounded like confidence. With just this one image, they reminded everyone how magnetic they are in the digital crowd. The accessory on his wrist became the focal point, and its meaning only deepened as people debated it. Was the charm shaped like a drop because of Yağmur's name? Was the leather strap the same hue as the belt she wore last week, a private echo? No one could pin the truth down. And that unanswered question did the rest of the work. Interest climbed. Threads multiplied. The mystery became a living thing. Another question jumped out from the comments. Where was the photo taken? The background felt purposeful in its restraint, clean lines, pale tones, a window that allowed morning light to spill across the frame and soften the edges of everything. It looked like a place chosen for peace, not for show. Fans said it looked like he'd paused in a quiet room to catch his breath, then hit post without asking anyone's permission. The framing was intimate, and the absence of a caption read like conviction. You don't have to explain something when you mean it. That sense of conscious simplicity stayed with everyone who scrolled past. As the conversations ballooned, people started linking the image to things both Barış and Yağmur had said in interviews. Barış had spoken about carving out a slower lane to refine his craft. Yağmur, too, mentioned choosing quieter mornings and being protective with her time. That tone, deliberate, introspective, matched the photo exactly. The gossip pages, always quick to stitch dots into a pattern, wrote that the couple is standing at the edge of a new chapter, waiting for the moment to step forward with something that will feel inevitable when it lands. One of the most striking parts of the frenzy was how carefully fans dissected every pixel. They zoomed until the photograph almost broke apart, then put it back together in theory after theory. First they noticed the bracelet. Then someone picked up the reflection on the glass behind him. Another tracked the color grade, debating whether the warmer highlights hinted at a fall release. Each rewatch, each repost, each late-night comment left the same impression: this couple knows how to create a connection without over-explaining it. They invite curiosity but never let it devour them. Their names have lived in headlines for years, and yet it still felt fresh. When fans say, every move becomes an event, it isn't hyperbole, it's muscle memory. People began floating dates, trying to guess when the next clue would drop. Some said it would be a teaser for a joint shoot. Others claimed a surprise announcement was near. Either way, the general feeling was that we're closer to something new than we've been in a long time. And so, everyone watched, waited, and tried to read the unsaid sentences between their posts. The momentum spread fast. Within hours, the photo leapt from its original platform to every corner of social media. Fan accounts curated side-by-sides of past moments where both Barış and Yağmur used small visual cues to say big emotional things. Some analyses lingered on the stillness of the captured second, others turned technical, discussing how the grain and color tone worked like a mood board. What they all agreed on was simple. One quiet image can be louder than a press tour if it lands at the right time, in the right hands. Of all the whispers floating around the industry, the loudest one said this was Barış deliberately planting a seed for a powerful comeback. He's been choosy, stepping away from anything that doesn't speak to him. Now, they say, he's ready to return with something that looks small at first and then blooms. The detail on his wrist might be the emblem of that return, like a soft drumbeat ahead of a full score. The idea caught fire because it fit. It felt like the work of a man who trusts the slow burn and a woman who knows exactly how to stand beside him without dimming or being dimmed. Their shared image, carefully built over years, floated back to the surface with this post. Their style isn't rushed. It doesn't chase everything the algorithm wants. It's patient and grounded and, somehow, more persuasive for it. To their followers, that restraint reads as real. You believe them because they look like themselves, because they move at a human pace in a hyperspeed era, because they seem to choose each appearance instead of being pulled into it. That's why every photograph becomes a reference point. That's why a bracelet becomes a story. By now, the picture has outgrown the moment it was taken in. It's turned into a canvas onto which everyone is projecting their hopes, for a new project, a deeper partnership, a shared announcement that will make sense of the hints. The private and the professional have blurred into a single thread, and nobody can tell where one ends and the other begins. The only thing that's clear is that the next time Barış and Yağmur speak, the room will be full. Until then, the silence is doing all the speaking anyone needs. The virality was instant and then sustained. Each hour pulled in a new wave of speculation. People repeated the same observation in a dozen different ways. There was no caption, no explanation, and still it felt like a confession. That's the paradox this couple has mastered. They've learned to let the questions breathe. They've learned that not answering is sometimes the most eloquent answer there is. The mystery stopped being a problem and became a strategy. Some observers swore they could see the outline of a joint plan in the way the light hugged the silver charm, how the color of the strap echoed a jacket Yağmur wore on a previous set, how the background suggested a location where both have been seen. Others insisted it was simply a lover's token, proof that work and home are stitched together by small, wearable vows. The debate didn't demand a winner. It only needed energy. And energy is the one thing that follows this couple everywhere they go. If you've watched them long enough, you know that a subtle cue can do more for their trajectory than a billowed campaign. This is the rhythm, a pause, a post, an earthquake of reaction, a stretch of quiet, and then, only when the dust has settled, an unveiling that makes their restraint look prophetic. The current photo fits that pattern like a glove. The bracelet is either a signpost or a souvenir. Maybe it's both. Maybe that's the point. People who know them, even from a distance, talk about how deeply considered their choices are. There's nothing hollow in the image. The light is doing work. The color is doing work. The way Barış holds himself, grounded, unhurried, suggests the calm that comes with certainty. And somewhere inside the frame, unseen but unmistakable, is the influence of Yağmur, the taste level, the sensitivity, the elegance that never feels performative. It's their blend, and fans have learned to recognize it instantly. The headline machine ran itself at that point. Anonymous tips, speculative timelines, confident predictions, it all piled up into a crescendo of anticipation. Still, the only people who could turn the speculation into truth stayed quiet. And that quiet was not empty. It was full of intention. If patience is a test, their audience has proven they're willing to take it. They'll wait for another photo, another angle, another glint off that wrist. They'll wait because they trust the destination more than they need the map. In the meantime, the debates spilled into late-night streams and morning talk segments. The same photo was printed, refiltered, cropped, enlarged, and reinterpreted like a modern myth retold by every voice that touched it. The charm turned into a symbol. The leather strap was reimagined as a timeline. The window wash of light became a prophecy. And through it all, Barış and Yağmur moved on with their day, refusing to hurry, refusing to derail a moment that was working in their favor just as it stood. So that's where we are, a single image that feels far bigger than its frame, a clue that could be personal or professional, or both, and a couple who understands exactly how to live inside the question without letting it consume them. Whether the next step is a set reveal, a campaign drop, or something more intimate that will only be acknowledged after the fact, one truth has already landed: they're in control of the story. The post didn't accidentally go viral, it became a mirror that everyone sees themselves in, and that's why it won't fade quickly. And now we wait. We watch for another quiet hint, a caption that ties a bow on this moment or refuses to. We measure the silence and call it suspense. We refresh and read and save and share. We see the bracelet and wonder if it's the beginning of a chapter or a reflection of one already written. We keep looking for Yağmur in the corners of Barış's photos, and for Barış in the light that falls across Yağmur's, because somewhere in the overlap is the truth they will one day tell in their own time. That brings us to the end of our video. If you enjoyed the ride, please subscribe to Secrets Behind the Stars and share this story with the friend who always sees the clue before anyone else. Until the next drop, take care and keep your eyes on the details.